We're back. This is the Now Morning Show. Lisa and Carrie here with you. Now, over the weekend, Carrie, you might have heard the news, or you out there might have seen it. It was all over social media, where the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, had to shut down 2 music trucks and with regard to campaigning happening, I believe it was in the Carenage area. Carrie, you might have heard about that as well. So we have on the line DCP Jason Ford, because, you know, we just wanted some clarification as to what is the criteria with regard to having these music trucks on the roads. So good morning, DCP Ford. Good morning.
A pleasant morning to you, Ms. Wickham, Mr. Roberts, and the wider population of Trinidad and Tobago. A pleasant and bright and sunny Monday morning to all of you.
Wonderful. Right, so let us jump right in. You might have heard my introduction, you know, coming out of what transpired over the weekend. What exactly is the criteria to have a music truck or any sort of vehicle on the road during this election time for campaign purposes?
Okay, Ms. Wickham, generally there are about 5 criteria that need to be satisfied by persons wishing to have music trucks on the road. But before I go, let me just let Trinidad and Tobago know that, as a reminder, the mandate of Trinidad and Tobago is to protect and serve with pride. We have to prevent harm, prevent danger, and prevent nuisance. And as such, there are certain laws that govern motor vehicles being on the road, whether on ordinary days, on times like these, like during election campaigns, or even during carnival season. And as I said before, there are about 8 criteria that need to be observed. They are mandated by law, and all parties in this election campaign should be observing these criteria, and especially the new parties. What we found happening is that, as you're aware, music truck is now an integral part of campaigning, and many of the older parties, the more established parties, by and large, they are aware. But we still need to send out reminders so that they and the newer parties will know what is necessary. So I'm going into the 8 criteria that are necessary that persons should have to have their music trucks on the roadway. Now, these trucks, which generally, under normal circumstances, are goods vehicles, they are licensed for a particular operation on the road. During campaign season, the license is altered. And if it is that the license has to be altered, then we have certain criteria that we look at. 1, we need to have a copy of the driver's permit of the designated driver. And if the owner of the vehicle is not the driver, we need to get a letter from him or her indicating that, in this case, Ms. Lisa Wickham is supposed to authorize to drive this vehicle for this period of time. Second, we need to have the current copy of insurance for the vehicle. Thirdly, we need to have the last inspection certificate for the truck. Each truck should be inspected. Fourth, each truck should obtain the requisite permit from the licensing authority to deal with 2 issues. And these are 2 important issues. 1, the carrying of excess persons, because some of these trucks are now configured differently, and you have persons other than the driver and the 2 loaders being on these trucks. That is 1. And 2, a permit to play music or noisy instruments while that truck is in motion. The main purpose of the truck is really to play music and to carry persons. So these 2 permits are very important that you get from the licensing authority. Fifth, you need to obtain the necessary special certificate of insurance for the truck that is now altered. 6, you need a copy of the EMA's noise variation certificate. 7, you need to have the permit indicating that the appropriate fees have been paid because they play music from various artists, including their own music. And 7, you need to obtain a permit from the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Specialized Support, who is located at the Aranguez Plaza, Garden Road in Aranguez, and that is upon application granting the permit to be on the road for the period that the truck will be used by the parties. And that's it basically.
So DCP Ford, what you're saying is really is a package that you should have on you when you are on the road, really, with all these various permits that you just itemized there. It's not just one piece of paper, for example, that you would essentially have with you as you campaign on the road, correct?
No, all right. No, that's a slight correction. The package really is the different piece that I spoke about. It's a get the permit that we give. I will send a copy of the permit so that you can present it.
Okay.
Later during the course of this morning. So it's one permit that we issue to you, but of course the driver should have his or her driver's permit.
Okay, so I understand. So what you're saying is that the various parties, I believe it's about 10 parties now, would present all of this information to the TTPS, and the TTPS will issue a permit to the party, granting permission to have the trucks on the road.
That is correct.
All right. I'm asking that because one of the persons in the video was presenting a document and saying that they had paid for this permission. And, you know, I think that was one of the, I wanted some clarification on that situation.
Sure. No, whilst I don't have all the facts, a word that has struck me from what you said there is the person saying they paid. There is no payment to the police for any permit. I want to repeat that, please. There is no payment to the police for any permit. You bring your documents, we verify your documents, and once they are correct, we issue a permit. Now, during the election campaign, we the police officers, as stretched as we are, protecting the country generally, we provide safety, security, public order, we preserve order for all the parties, from the biggest to the small. And we do that free of charge to the parties. But of course, the taxpayers pay us at the end of the month, so we get our salary.
Yeah.
But there is no payment for a permit to the police.
Okay. Let me ask you about social distancing, because that is something that has come up on social media. You know, you're seeing in the excitement, in the heat of the campaigning, perhaps some people are not social distancing as they should. Is that something that the TTPS will be taking seriously and having a look at with the various campaigns on the roads?
And yes, we will be. But remember, we are part of a global village, Ms. Wickham and Mr. Roberts. And when we look at what is happening internationally, most of the countries, as they start reintegrating and people start breaching those social distancing protocols, we start seeing the infection taking place. Trinidad and Tobago is not isolated from the rest of the world, so that we will be taking seriously persons who are breaching the social distancing protocols. We are aware that it is a time where people are highly motivated, highly spirited. We are aware of all of that. Persons come together, but we want to ensure that people exercise the social distancing, wear their masks, both the leaders, the followers, wear your mask, social distance, because after August the 10th, life continues in Trinidad and Tobago, and we do not want to have a run on our medical services after August the 10th. We want to enjoy whichever government is installed so we can continue to enjoy life in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, DCP Jason Ford, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing some light on the situation with regard to having music trucks licensed to be on the road for campaign 2020. Thank you, Deputy Commissioner of Police.
Mr. Roberts, thank you very much for having me. Anytime, remember, we in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service are here to protect and serve with pride.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
Continue to be safe. Well, that clears that up, right, Carrie?
For the most part.
For the most part.
There are some questions I have about certain things, but they may seem too controversial.
All right.
You know, I mean,
all right.
You know, they said it's a free thing to the
Yeah.
public. You make your application, so the claim that they had paid for something that as,
But I'd
you know,
imagine there would be some investigation into that, because if it is that it's supposed to be free and the person was saying, but we paid, I want to know who you paid.
Who you paid?
Who you paid.
And for what reason?
And for what reason?
Those are so many questions I have.
Yeah, well, you
But
can answer that though.
No, you couldn't.
All right, we're going to take in a few messages. When we come back, it's Monday, so I expect that Ayinka is going to zip into the station, into the studio anytime now with the entertainment news, and we have so much more, so stay with us.